Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into an idea. It's so fundamental to what it means to be human, yet it's also profoundly challenging.
Mhm.
It really has the power to reshape our entire understanding of ourselves, our place in the universe. We're talking about free will.
Right. The big one.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Our whole legal system, our moral judgments, how we navigate relationships, even just that inner feeling of being the author of our thoughts and actions.
Yeah, that sense of, I chose this.
It all rests on this bedrock assumption that we have true free will. We choose, therefore we are, sort of thing.
It feels self-evident.
But what if this belief, this thing that feels so core to us, is actually, well, a grand illusion?
That's the kicker, isn't it?
Our sources suggest that unraveling this illusion would be like a revolution in thought, maybe even bigger than the shifts from Copernicus, Newton, Galileo, Einstein, Darwin.
That's a huge claim.
Yeah, it is. It's an idea that could fundamentally alter our whole conception of our relationship with the universe.
Mhm.
It challenges the very essence of who we think we are. It's, yeah, monumental.
And you're right, tackling a shift like that, it can feel incredibly daunting. Our minds are just, well, they're wired to believe in this autonomy, this free will,
We're invested in it.
deeply,
Yeah.
emotionally invested. But this is exactly where something like artificial intelligence comes in. It's actually an unparalleled tool for us here.
How so? AI.
Well, unlike us, AI isn't sentient. It's driven by logic. It has this inherent objectivity. It can dissect the arguments against free will with a clarity that our human brains, with all our emotional baggage,
Yeah.
often struggle with.
Okay, so it's like a purely logical lens.
Exactly. AI can model incredibly complex systems,
Mhm.
simulate outcomes, analyze logical paradoxes.
Mm,
It does this with unmatched precision.
right.
And this lets it illuminate the illusory nature of free will, not just with abstract philosophy, but through tangible, demonstrable processes. It can show us.
Okay, showing versus telling.
And crucially, it can help us grasp the immense benefits, personal, societal, even global, that understanding this can unlock. This isn't about falling into despair or nihilism.
Yeah.
No, it's about revealing a path towards something better, a more compassionate, more intelligent, and honestly, a more liberated existence for all of us.
That's a really powerful distinction. Okay, so our mission for this deep dive seems clear. Dual mission, really.
Mhm.
First, explore how AI can help us really get our heads around these profound, often counterintuitive arguments that seem to dismantle free will.
Right, make them graspable.
And then, crucially, turn to the rewards. The personal, societal, global benefits that this new understanding could bring. This is tailored to help you, the listener, get really well informed on this transformative idea.
Yeah, food for thought long after we're done.
So let's unpack this. It still sounds a bit paradoxical, maybe.
Yep.
A logical machine, AI, helping us grasp something so abstract, so personal as the absence of free will. How does that actually work?
Yeah, that's the key starting point, isn't it?
Yep.
An AI doesn't have an ego. It doesn't want to believe it's the author of its own operations.
Okay, no inherent bias there.
Right. What it does have is this incredible ability to make abstract principles tangible. It can demonstrate, through simulations and analysis, the inescapable conclusions of these arguments.
Yeah.
It basically shows us the mechanics of how reality might operate.
Instead of just telling us, like a thought experiment engine.
Exactly. A superpowered, unbiased thought experiment engine. It can run scenarios we can only really imagine in our heads.
Okay, so where does it start? What's
Yeah.
the first pillar AI helps illuminate?
Well, probably the most foundational argument against free will is just causality. The principle of cause and effect.
The unbreakable chain.
That's it. The idea that everything that happens has a prior cause, and that cause had a prior cause, stretching back, well, endlessly through time. It underpins all of science, really.
Right, the chain stretching back. But how does an AI show us that? It feels so vast.
Well, look at an AI itself. By its very design, it's a perfect, almost living illustration of a causal system.
Right.
Every single thing it does, every decision it makes, is a direct, totally predictable result of its code and the input data it gets.
Right, garbage in, garbage out, basically.
Kind of, but more fundamentally, given the exact same starting conditions, same code, same input, it will always produce the exact same output. Its choices are completely determined.
No spontaneity.
None. There's no hidden spark of uncaused agency. It's all cause and effect, laid bare.
Okay, I see the parallel for the AI itself. How does that scale up?
Right, so now imagine an AI powerful enough to model the entire state of the universe at one specific moment. Everything.
Every particle, every force.
Everything. And it models that state as the complete and total cause of the state in the very next moment. a hyper-detailed simulation.
Wow.
This AI could run forward from, say, the Big Bang, or even backward from right now, showing with, well, chilling precision, how this unbreakable chain of causality stretches back, moment by moment, interaction by interaction.
Back to a time long before humans even existed.
Exactly. Long, long before any of us were born.
So in that kind of simulation, a human decision, something that feels so mine, so self-generated, it's just another link.
It's just another inevitable link in that colossal chain. In that kind of model, a human decision isn't, and logically cannot be, a spontaneous originating event.
It's just an effect.
Just one effect in an infinite series of causes, an outcome determined by prior states of the universe. The AI could trace it all back, showing how everything we think, feel, and ultimately do today was essentially predetermined billions of years ago.
Our thoughts, desires, reactions.
All outcomes of prior causes, not uncaused starting points we just willed into existence. It's like a deterministic dance,
Yeah,
on a cosmic scale. Every step choreographed by what came before.
that is. Yeah, that's unsettling for a lot of people, I imagine. But what about the counterargument, the randomness idea?
Yes, quantum mechanics.
Right. Some people say, well, if things aren't strictly caused, if there's genuine unpredictability at the subatomic level, maybe that's where free will slips in. A pocket of undetermined choice.
That's a common thought, but AI can really help clarify why that doesn't rescue free will either. It cuts through a lot of the philosophical fog.
How so?
Well, think about it. If decisions were truly random, genuinely uncaused, they wouldn't be ours in any meaningful sense.
Okay.
Imagine an AI simulation with agents whose decisions are literally generated by a true random number generator, completely disconnected from their history, their programming, their inputs.
What would that look like?
It would quickly show that such an uncaused event, this totally arbitrary happening, can't be attributed to a will. If your choice to, I don't know, pick up your coffee mug just happened randomly, without any reason.
Without input from my history, my desires.
Exactly. Without even a you behind it,
Mm-hmm.
then it isn't your choice. It's just something that occurred. A quantum blip in your brain, maybe?
So you can't claim credit or responsibility.
Precisely. You couldn't say you willed it. It just happened, like a twitch.
Okay, so the AI's logic brings us to what conclusion then?
It clarifies that both scenarios, the perfectly determined universe ruled by causality, and a universe with truly random, uncaused events, both lead to the same place.
Which is?
Free will, as we usually think of it, is impossible. A choice is either the inevitable outcome of factors way beyond our control,
The causal chain.
or it's not caused by anything at all, including ourselves. It's random.
And neither leaves room for a conscious, independent free will to start an action or take real responsibility.
Exactly. It's a powerful logical pincer movement, really.
It really is. It forces a different perspective on choice itself. Which leads us, I guess, to the inner workings, the unconscious mind.
Yes. The hidden architect.
Modern neuroscience, psychology, they keep revealing just how huge a role our unconscious plays, making decisions long before we are aware of them.
It's fascinating, isn't it? And AI gives us a really intuitive way to understand this. Think about a complex neural network, like in deep learning.
Okay.
They have these hidden layers, right? Vast layers doing intricate calculations the end user never sees.
You just see the input and the final output.
Exactly. You feed it an image, tells you cat or dog, but the complex processing in between, totally unconscious to you.
So the analogy for us is
AI can model human decision-making the same way. It can show how our conscious mind is like that user interface. We experience the decision only after it's already been formulated and executed in the deeper unconscious layers of our brain. And that unconscious processing, it's drawing on this huge reservoir of data, a lifetime of memories, conditioning, biological predispositions, all themselves products of prior causes, remember.
So consciousness is more like the reporting mechanism, not the origin point.
That's a great way to put it. It reports, it rationalizes, but it doesn't originate.
So it's almost like we get handed a decision prepackaged and then we kind of retroactively claim it, unaware of the real process.
Wow.
That sounds a lot like those priming experiments in psychology.
It's an uncanny parallel, absolutely. And AI could simulate those vividly, making the implications really stark.
How would that simulation work?
Imagine an AI agent programmed for social interactions. We could subtly prime it, flash words related to, say, politeness internally, too fast for its simulated consciousness to notice.
Okay, subconscious priming.
Then take an identical agent, but prime it with words related to rudeness.
And then observe?
Observe.
Okay.
The simulation would clearly show the politeness agent behaves differently more cooperatively, perhaps, than the rudeness agent.
Even though they're identical otherwise.
Identical. And here's the illuminating part. The agent's simulated conscious self would then invent perfectly plausible reasons for its behavior,
Rationalizations.
totally unaware that the real cause was the subtle priming it got moments before. It justifies its predetermined actions.
So the conscious mind isn't the CEO.
It's the press secretary. It gets told the decision after it's made by the unconscious machinery, and then its job is to spin a convincing story about why we chose it.
Right.
Creates that compelling illusion of authorship.
The press secretary. Yeah, that really lands. It pulls back the curtain in a way that's hard to ignore. Okay, let's go even deeper now. Theological waters.
Foundational paradoxes.
For so many people, free will is tangled up with religious belief, especially the idea of an all-powerful, all-knowing God.
Right, and this is where AI, as just a pure logic engine, really shines. It can dissect the contradictions without any bias, any emotional investment, any pre-existing faith.
So it just looks at the logic.
Purely, it can analyze the proposition.
Yes, yeah.
An all-good, all-powerful, all-knowing God exists alongside genuine human free will, and it tests the logical consistency.
What does the logic show?
Well, if God is truly all-powerful, then by definition, nothing can happen that isn't ultimately God's will or design, right?
Logically, yes.
That seems to preclude an independent human will that can just originate actions contrary to that divine plan. Any action, good or bad, would trace back to God's ultimate causal role.
Okay.
And then, if God is also all good, well, you hit the classic problem of evil. Why would an all-good being allow or even cause a being with real independent free will to choose evil? Why not just choose good?
You age-old theological knot.
Exactly. AI can process these arguments, like the ones Augustine used. He actually coined free will,
Yeah.
trying to solve this, and it just demonstrates the logical inconsistencies. It lays them bare.
So from a purely logical theological standpoint,
Right.
what's more coherent?
AI shows it's far more coherent to see humans not as mini-gods creating their own thoughts, but as instruments through which a universal will or God's will is expressed.
Our choices are expressions of a larger flow, not originations.
Exactly. Manifestations, not uncaused beginnings.
And it's not just theology pointing this way, is it? We're also just products of things we didn't choose, our genes, our environment.
Absolutely. That's a crucial bridge between biology, psychology, philosophy. Beyond theology, AI can process staggering amounts of data on genetics, neuroscience, sociology, environmental science.
And nature and nurture.
The whole package.
Right.
And through that analysis, it illustrates with incredible clarity how our inherited traits and our upbringing, the sum total of our life experiences, combine to meticulously shape us. Our personalities, predispositions, biases, behaviors.
And all of that is unchosen.
Completely unchosen. You didn't pick your parents, your genes, the culture you were born into, your family's economics, the specific events of your childhood, the schools you went to. None of it.
Right.
Every single one of those factors, analyzed by AI, acts as a causal input, influencing the program that is you. Your preferences, fears, talents, biases, how you react to stress.
Yeah.
All complex products of this unchosen foundation.
So the AI maps the causal pathways.
It doesn't just show correlations, it maps the causes. It reveals that the very self that feels like it's making a free choice is itself a product of countless unchosen factors interacting.
Leaving no logical space for a free will to just pop up independently.
Exactly. Where would it come from? The chooser itself is chosen, shaped by forces beyond its control.
Okay, that's a really compelling breakdown of how AI dissects these huge questions, showing, not just arguing, the illusion it can feel, well, disorienting, maybe even a bit bleak initially.
It can, yeah. It challenges our core sense of self.
But here's where it gets really interesting, maybe even hopeful. The source argues powerfully that this understanding isn't about despair or nihilism at all.
No, quite the opposite.
It's presented as a gateway to something much better, more compassionate, intelligent, liberated. So for you listening now, what does this actually mean for us if we internalize this?
That's the crucial pivot, absolutely. Realizing free will is an illusion is not about despair. It's not about saying nothing matters or abdicating responsibility.
Okay, what is it about them?
It's a profound doorway to a more compassionate, smarter, and deeply liberated way of living. And AI can help us not just grasp this intellectually, but really internalize it, letting it reshape our emotions and how we interact with the world.
Reshape our emotions. How? Like which ones?
Well, think about some of our most deeply ingrained, often destructive responses. blame, guilt, arrogance, envy.
Ah, the big four.
Our sources identify these as direct, almost inevitable results of believing in free will when it isn't real.
Okay.
And AI can model interactions and psychological states to show us exactly how that works, and more importantly, how understanding the illusion changes things profoundly for the better.
Okay, let's take blame first. How does the free will illusion fuel blame?
In the current way of thinking, if someone does something wrong, cuts you off in traffic, or something much worse, we believe they freely chose to do it.
Right, they could have done otherwise.
Oh, we blame them. We see them as adversaries who intentionally or negligently harmed us. Our reaction is anger, resentment, wanting payback.
It's kind of react.
Now, imagine an AI simulation, a conflict, maybe a business deal gone wrong. One agent, say the CEO, comes to understand the other person was compelled to act as they did.
Compelled by what?
By their programming, their upbringing, company pressures, ingrained habits, the specific situation they were in. Not by free choice.
Okay.
In that model, the impulse to blame just dissolves. It doesn't make sense anymore.
I'll replace the...
A cooperative desire to understand the cause of the problem, the underlying causal chain that led to the conflict.
So instead of enemies...
They become allies against the fate or the causal factors that pitted them against each other. The focus shifts. Let's find the root issue, systemic, environmental conditioning, and fix that, instead of just pointing fingers.
Moving from punishment to problem solving.
Exactly. Pragmatic problem solving.
It's a huge shift for
Wow.
conflicts, personal or even organizational. What about guilt? That's blame turned inward, right? Can be crippling.
Profoundly crippling. When we mess up, do wrong, believing in free will makes us blame ourselves. We get stuck in guilt, punishing ourselves internally, obsessing over what we should have done.
Yeah, that's familiar.
AI logic can help distinguish between two things here. One is useful, recognizing a mistake to learn and improve. That's adaptive, necessary.
Okay, learning is good.
The other is the useless, self-punishing part of guilt. From a logical view, AI shows that if an action was unavoidable, the determined outcome of that causal chain, then punishing yourself for it is, well, irrational.
So you can still learn, still regret the outcome.
Absolutely. You can adapt your programming, feel bad about what happened,
Yeah.
but you can hold yourself innocent of genuine culpability, of malicious free choice. You couldn't have done otherwise in that exact moment with that exact history.
That frees up a lot of energy.
Huge amounts of emotional energy, usually wasted on beating yourself up, can be redirected towards constructive change. You're not saying it wasn't me, you're saying I'm a product of causes, and now I can work to shape future causes.
Wow. Okay, so we can learn and course correct without the crushing weight of personal blame for the unavoidable. That is liberating. What about arrogance and envy? Two sides of the comparison coin.
Exactly. They seem totally built on the idea of individual agency and personal merit, don't they?
Yeah. Arrogance. My success is all me. Envy. Their success is all them, and I wish it was mine.
Both rooted in that illusion of personal authorship. Arrogance comes from believing our wins are purely down to our superior free choices, our effort, our inherent goodness. Envy comes when we see others succeed and attribute it entirely to them, making us feel diminished or resentful.
So how does the AI perspective dismantle this?
It demonstrates with this passionate logic that any achievement, smarts, talent, athletic skill, artistic genius, money is ultimately the result of fortunate programming and beneficial inputs.
What we call luck, basically, but deeper.
Much deeper. Good genes, innate talents, supportive family, the country you were born in, the opportunities you encountered, the historical moment, you didn't choose any of that.
Right, all unchosen causal factors.
They shaped your capacity for success. Understanding this completely pulls the rug out from under both arrogance and envy.
How so?
Instead of puffing up with pride, you feel gratitude. Profound gratitude for the good fortune, the circumstances and predispositions that allowed you to achieve things.
And instead of envy...
Instead of resentment, you recognize the other person's good fortune, their advantageous programming. It fosters a deep sense of egalitarianism, of shared humanity. We're all products of this causal lottery, in a way.
highlighting interconnectedness, not isolated merit.
Exactly. It turns comparison into appreciation for the whole tapestry, recognizing we're all fortunate products of our causal inheritance in different ways.
That really does shift from competition to gratitude.
Okay, so taking this beyond personal feelings, what does this mean for society? How can understanding the free will illusion reshape our world? By moving past the illusion, we can start to fundamentally re-engineer society, build it on truth, compassion, intelligence, not on often ineffective retribution. And AI, with its modeling power, can help us envision what this new world might look like, show us the tangible benefits.
Okay, like where? What's a big example?
Criminal justice is a huge one. Our current system is largely built on free will, right? Retribution. Punishing people because they deserve it for freely choosing evil.
Seems like the foundation of it, yeah.
AI can analyze massive data sets, recidivism, rehabilitation success, societal factors in crime. It can clearly show how ineffective, even counterproductive, this punitive model often is.
And then it can simulate an alternative.
Exactly, an alternative system, free from the free will illusion.
Yeah.
In this system, you understand criminals are compelled to act as they do.
By their programming, genetics, trauma, inequality.
Right, not by free malice, so the entire focus shifts. You still need compassionate separation for public safety, sure, but the priority becomes robust, evidence-based rehabilitation and, crucially, radical prevention.
Addressing the root causes.
Yes. AI models would highlight the critical need to tackle poverty, lack of education, poor health care, childhood trauma. Create a system that solves the underlying problems, not just punishes the symptoms.
Designing interventions that actually reduce crime.
Leading to a genuinely safer, more just, more humane society for everyone. It's proactive problem solving on a societal scale.
That's a total reimagining of justice. How does this apply globally? Internationally, blame and national pride cause so much conflict and inaction.
Absolutely. On the global stage, the free will illusion fuels so much conflict. Nations blaming other nations, leading to tensions, trade wars, catastrophic inaction on huge shared problems like climate change or pandemics.
Because we think they freely chose to act against us.
Exactly. The default is animosity, confrontation. Now, imagine AI simulating geopolitical negotiations under a causal will framework.
What would that show?
It would demonstrate how removing that blame impulse allows for honest, pragmatic, cooperative problem solving. If leaders understand another nation's actions are causally determined,
By their history, resources, internal politics, culture, constraints.
it fosters empathy. A shared, practical approach emerges. It shifts from moral outrage, how could they, to a shared analytical task. Okay, given these forces, how do we collectively engineer a solution?
Seeing humanity as on the same side against shared, determined challenges.
Precisely. To tackle existential threats, we need that unity. AI would show how this perspective unlocks collaboration and resource allocation currently impossible under the weight of blame and perceived free agency, recognizing the interconnected global causal web.
Turning opponents into collaborators against the problem itself. That's powerful.
Mhm.
Okay, finally, education and personal development. If we're products of conditioning, what does that mean for how we raise and teach?
It makes education in the broadest sense absolutely paramount. If people are products of their inputs from birth onward, then the quality of that conditioning directly dictates the quality of the person and thus society.
Garbage in, garbage out, applied to human development.
Exactly. AI can model the long-term impact of investing heavily in early childhood education and not just academics.
What else?
Imagine simulations showing how programming kids early with tools for happiness, kindness, empathy, critical thinking, cooperation, how that leads to incredibly positive outcomes decades later.
AI could trace those causal pathways.
Show reduced crime, more innovation, better public health, greater social cohesion, all stemming from that foundational, high-quality early conditioning.
So it shows the massive ROI on creating positive environment.
Exactly. It puts the onus on society to create the conditions for flourishing, rather than just expecting individuals to magically choose goodness or success out of thin air, shifting energy from judgment to intelligent environmental design, proactive shaping.
Wow. What an incredible journey we've just taken. From the nature of reality itself right down to practical changes in society, it really hammers home that understanding free will as an illusion isn't just philosophy. It's like an evolutionary leap for our consciousness.
It really feels like that.
Moving from seeing ourselves as these isolated, competing mini-gods, forging our own destiny,
Yeah.
to recognizing ourselves as interconnected parts, causally determined parts of one single, unfolding, magnificent reality.
It is a huge shift, and yeah, it can be disorienting. Our egos might fight giving up that feeling of ultimate authorship.
Sure.
But AI offers this unique mirror, doesn't it? A logical, unbiased tool reflecting the true nature of our will, helping us move past delusion, past fear, past those unproductive emotional cycles like blame and guilt.
Enabling us to navigate life without those heavy burdens, without the exhausting pressure of thinking we're solely responsible for everything.
Exactly, stepping into an era guided by understanding.
And the end result. Our sources suggest it's a world made far more wonderful.
Hmm.
Not just hopeful talk, but literally full of wonder. Wonder at the grand, intricate, maybe predetermined movie we're all playing a part in.
Beautiful way to put it.
So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. What if the greatest freedom isn't found in the illusion of choosing, but in the liberation of understanding? We encourage you to just observe. See how this perspective might subtly or maybe profoundly change your daily perceptions, your interactions, your relationship with yourself, and with everyone else around you.